Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I am going to be speaking about having your Mars trining your partner's Pluto in synastry. So having a trine between your Mars and your partner's Pluto in synastry just makes a relationship pretty strong as far as the connection goes. Both Mars and Pluto can be pretty intense when coming together, and with a trine, it's still very intense, even though it is more smooth sailing as far as the intensity goes. It can still be felt in everyday kind of activities or tasks that people go through, like the mundane things. It always has a bit of a beneath the surface depth behind their interactions with this aspect in their synastry charts. Aspects between Mars and Pluto can sometimes mean for ego clashes and that type of intensity, but with this trine, it is going to run a bit smoother when it comes to those kind of things, like having their clashing egos, and when it comes to just going with the flow. With this synastry, it's the Pluto person who can be more emotional, while the Mars person might express their care and themselves in this relationship in very action-oriented ways, including more so physical expression. And even though the Pluto person can be the one comes across as being more emotional compared to the Mars person and themselves in this relationship, the Pluto person's pretty has a pretty passionate way of expressing those emotions compared to the Mars person. But the Mars person's still pretty passion driven, especially when it comes to being able to show their feelings through their actions. And through their actions, whenever the Mars person has a way of evoking any kind of reaction out of the Pluto person, it gets expressed in a very emotional way. And the power dynamic between these two individuals with this synastry aspect in their chart can make it so that their relationship kind of has this need for power dynamics, that they have this desire to be able to experience being in the role of either dominating or being the one in control. And that can make it so that at times there could be this very subtle form of manipulation going on between the two partners. And with the trine, they can be using that to their advantage, and it doesn't damage the relationship. Instead, it kind of keeps things, or the power, maintained or balanced. And almost like a subtle form of game playing between the Pluto person and the Mars person. Because this relationship can have a lot of emotional intensity, they can at times use that emotional intensity to their advantage to gain control over the other partner's actions and be able to manipulate the other partner's actions and sort of get their way when needed. They can always try to access their emotions for that purpose, and they can be pretty inclined to that manipulation of each other in this relationship, because both Mars and Pluto are both planets that are kind of concerned with assertiveness for Mars and being able to be in more of the authoritative or the lead for the Mars person, and for Pluto energy, it is just about control and power over your environment. So they both want to be able to maintain the power in the relationship, and so can lead to that kind of a resorting to manipulation as a means to maintain the power and control, making this synastry a pretty intense and passionate kind of synastry to have between two people. In fact, with the trine, their intense energy that they can have in this relationship because of this aspect can be more constructive, and it can even be channeled towards having more meaningful, more deep conversations and getting to know each other in a deeper way, and also being able to utilize any of the emotional intensity or the very intuitive energy that they can have towards each other in a more constructive way that can lead to them having more sensitivity and compassion for each other. Hence, they can be pretty intuitive when it comes to each other and have an understanding of the more psychological motivations behind their actions or their feelings in this relationship. Also, another thing is that they could be led by some unconscious patterns. For instance, Pluto might be also operating from a place of a fear of the loss of control and a fear of having to be too vulnerable with the partner. So they may resort to more manipulative ways of getting their way over the Mars person. Whereas on the other hand, the impact of the Mars energy is that Mars can be very driven and assertive to get their way or to get what they want, and kind of have little concern for the impact that they are leaving on the other person, which can lead to some power struggles. But when you have the trine, it can be a bit more of a harmonious energy between these two energies, and the Pluto person and the Mars person can be a little bit more subtle, especially when it comes to things like the manipulation and when it comes to any power struggles that can come up. And so the trine is a little bit less of a threat to either individual or to their relationship. In fact, it's what brings that sense of resilience to their relationship, especially when it comes to anything that they go through that may be a difficulty in their relationship. And so they are able to go through transformation because of the Pluto energy, and they are also able to really experience a lot of growth in their relationship through any kind of ability to confront any fears that come up or anything that's holding either one of them back on a psychological level. So there's a lot of room for them to experience a lot of growth as a result of being in this relationship together. And it's very supportive overall of a lot of growth and transformation, getting through any big or difficult changes that may come up in life for either one of them or for both of them. And their relationship can be one that has a lot of possessiveness between the Pluto person and the Mars person. They can also feel a lot of jealousy when it comes to each other. At first, between the Mars person and the Pluto person, the Mars person can be the one who's a bit hesitant, a bit unsure, or a bit slower to move in the beginning. And they could kind of go back and forth when it comes to being able to make up their mind about wanting to be all in to this relationship from the start. They may be slower than the Pluto person at first. However, once things start, everything can be pretty chilled as far as that is concerned, and the Pluto person and the Mars person's relationship will have a lot of closeness because of this aspect. And it can get very easy to experience a very attached kind of relationship between the two of them, and they can get pretty attached to each other. However, in the beginning, they may want to have a bit of some space because of just how this aspect can also bring some emotions, a lot of emotional moments between the two of them, which they may need to get used to. And especially for the Mars person may come to find that they feel really captivated or drawn to the Pluto person for their emotional intensity, and even their depth can be something that's really captivating to the Mars person, and kind of a mystery for them that they want to be able to get more of or get to really understand. And they can really be drawn to the Pluto person for this reason. For the Pluto person, they can even feel a sense of almost deep fascination, obsession for the Mars person, and feel like the Mars person has the potential to be able to kind of go through something that's going to change their lives or bring a sense of transformation to them. And overall, having this aspect between Pluto and Mars makes the connection a pretty strong one, and it is a sense of strong desire and strong drive and strong intensity between the two partners that this aspect kind of brings to the connection. And there can be this pull between the two of them that's almost like magnets being drawn to each other. And with the trine, it can be very advantageous when it comes to really navigating the kind of complex and intense moments that they go through beyond the surface. Well, that does it for this video on having your Mars trining your partner's Pluto in synastry. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. And if you did, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button and to subscribe to this channel for more videos. Well, that is where I love and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.